A shorter list of games this week, but this is definitely not an episode you want to miss. We've got some hot games, some big giveaways, and my favorite part, meme edits. Hello board game brothers and sisters, I'm Adam Singer and welcome to another episode where I'll be letting you know if Kickstarter is launching this week. I can't believe we're already getting near the end of July, and as always near the end of the month, Alex over at Board Game Co will be putting out a video soon covering all the hot games we know of so far over the following month. So make sure to check out his channel for a sneak peek of what's to come, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I guess I should also say you should subscribe to my channel, so yeah, do those things. If you're a publisher or a designer with a game on the way, it's really easy to get your game covered on both our channels. All you have to do is check out the link in the description below, and I have a Google form there where you can submit all the info that we need. But with all that said, let's check out the Kickstarters. And the first game we have launches on the 19th, and it's called Perdition's Mouth Beyond the Rift. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 30 to 120 minutes to play. And this is a fully cooperative adventure card game that continues the saga through the gritty and dark world that came with Perdition's Mouth Abysmal Rift. This new standalone expansion is a card game, while the original game was a full-on miniatures game. And in this game, each player will have their own unique starting deck depending on the hero that they choose to play, and they'll be evolving that deck over a 5-scenario campaign that tells the story of one of the heroes in the game. Each hero will offer a different playstyle, and the scenarios offer many branching paths, allowing for different circumstances and opportunities for players to synergize their strengths and have a very different experience each time they play. Although the campaign is just 5 scenarios, there's a campaign for each hero, which means there's actually over 20 different scenarios that the players can experience. Each hero has 2 basic resources at their disposal. There's the action points and the hero deck. Drawing from the hero deck will present different actions that they can perform, which of course cost action points, which can then be used to draw more cards, manipulate positions of the enemies, and activate special abilities depending on the cards that you play. Players may also find items that can be equipped to alter the cards in their deck, and most cards in the deck are assigned to a specific body part, and whenever a hero equips an item to that specific body part, the associated cards get swapped out for the new ones. Unlike many other co-ops, this one can be played with a number of heroes equal to the player count, so players won't have to control multiple characters for a lower player count. This is a standalone game, but the original will also be available in the campaign in limited quantities. Some of their other games will also be offered, like Zanziar, Dwarf, Factory 42, and Meisho, which is one that I actually backed previously because I thought it looked like a really fun puzzly filler game. There's a lot of very limited pledges on this one, so if you want to be the first in line, make sure to hit that notify button on their campaign, and I have links to all the campaigns in the description below. And the next few campaigns are all launching on the 20th, and the first one is Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness Apocalypse. And this is actually launching on GameFound, and this plays 1 to 5 players and takes about 30 to 120 minutes to play. And this is a massive expansion that brings another chapter to the game Chronicles of Drunagor, which is already a massive game with a ton of extra boxes and content. The original game has a really impressive 9.1 rating over on BoardGame Geek, but just bear in mind that this game hasn't been out for very long, so this rating hasn't really had a whole lot of time to settle. And this is a miniatures heavy dungeon crawl that uses a preset multi-level 3D map and these really thematically and functionally cool set of doors that when reached will reveal how to lay out the next section of the map and what will spawn there. This is a really cool mechanism to keep much of the dungeon hidden until the actual heroes within the game have visibility into that section. Different heroes have their own class and abilities that they'll be starting with, but characters also have their own other classes, skill trees, and abilities that they can unlock as they progress the game. One thing I didn't mention is that characters also have their own unique set of action cubes, which is the main mechanism to how players actually take actions in this game. And players will be placing these different cubes onto their character sheet in order to take the associated action to essentially move around the board and take out various monsters. The different colored cubes allow for different actions to be performed, but then those cubes have to remain in those action spots, blocking them for use in the future. At any point, players can reset their cubes, but in doing so, introduces a curse cube into their pool, which gets assigned to one of their actions, preventing it from being used until that curse cube is removed, and the game offers a few opportunities for those curse cubes to be removed. This creates a really nice push and pull as players will want to be efficient with their actions or frivolous at certain times depending on the opportunities they have to cleanse these curse cubes. And in addition to the scary monsters, there's also a darkness that slowly creeps and expands throughout the dungeon and puts pressure on the players to accomplish their goals quickly. And just to confuse you, I've been showing you the original Kickstarter campaign, but this campaign is actually going to be launching over on GameFound. And you might notice that this campaign does offer an app, but it 100% does not need it to be played. And yes, this campaign will be offering the core game and all the expansions and exclusives that it had to purchase from the original campaign. And one thing I always love to see is publishers taking advantage of their reprint as an opportunity to improve their rulebook and make tweaks to streamline and balance their game, which this company has done. And previous backers will get this all for free if they pledge for the new expansion. Otherwise, it will be offered as an add-on. A lot of publishers just wouldn't spend the time or money on this at all, so it's really awesome to see when publishers really care about their game and what they are delivering. And this expansion adds 16 new adventures that introduce new mechanisms, level structures, and reveal more into the narrative of Drunagor's mythology. This expansion is decision-driven and has multiple endings depending on the decisions that players make. With any pledge here, expect a ton of content, so if you're planning to go all in, or even if you just want the core and the expansion, make sure that you really love to keep that shelf cluttered. Keep that shelf cluttered. And a really interesting fact here is the publisher is exploring the possibility of offering a payment plan so that you can divide your all-in pledge into 6 payments over a period of time. As always with GameFound, there's a nice little freebie if you sign up to get notified ahead of time, so check out the link in the description below to lock in that boss mini expansion. And also if you back in the first 48 hours, you'll get a metal coin marker to track your initiative track. Thanks for checking out the video. I'm truly grateful even just for that, but if you also want an excuse to get something nice for yourself, definitely check out our awesome sponsor over at kickstartergames.com and use the Shelf Clutter coupon code to get an 15% off your entire cart. Kickstartergames.com has a ton of different games, so if there's one that you've been looking to buy, definitely head over there and save yourself some cash. A small portion of any sales made there will come back and help this channel so that I can afford to keep the lights on. Bruh. Okay, yeah. Please go check out kickstartergames.com in the description below. And we're back with Cthulhu Rises, and this campaign is for a set of giant Lovecraftian themed miniatures ranging from 3 inches all the way up to 16 inches in height. And this is going to include all sorts of sculpts like Cthulhu, Shub-Niggurath, a child of Shub-Niggurath, Nyarlathotep. These words were not meant to be said by humans. Shoggoth, the Elder Thing, and the Iron Oxide Beast. This is also going to include many others, including, wait for it, a 24-karat gold-plated ultimate one-of-a-kind flex bling miniature of each of the minis that I just went over. All the pledges in this campaign are limited, so if you love gold, make sure to head over and hit that notification button.
I love gold!
As a nice little bonus, each pledge also comes with free RPG scenery, which I think will be in the form of an STL file. And next we have our Discord pick of the week, which is Oros, which plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 120 minutes to play. And Oros is a strategy board game about ancient pursuit of knowledge and power. As a powerful demigod, players must lead their followers from an isolated island to the majestic mountains where they can build sacred sites of study as players compete to gain higher knowledge. On the surface, this game is very simple to learn. On your turn, you just take up to 3 actions by moving followers to unoccupied action spaces on your action board, and then you take those actions. But what's really cool is that the board starts out barren with only a few small islands, but players will use their actions to manipulate the board by erupting volcanoes to form new land tiles, and then move and combine individual groups of tiles, or shift an entire row of land tiles in a direction to form the board to their advantage. And a really neat but important mechanism here is that when movement causes tiles to overlap, that space then becomes a mountain. I love this because it creates a lot of action in a small space as players push and pull to condense the map into these mountain tiles, which then creates spaces for more tiles to be added and condensed, but with each mountain simultaneously limiting the overall space for tiles as they are created. Small details like this really ramp up the amount of permutations and depth of strategy a player can have on their turn, and this looks like a very elegant way to do it. And mountains are great because players can also assign followers to build study sites on those mountains to gain instant rewards, and then they can also journey to these different sites to gain new followers or become more proficient in each action or specialize in a certain action to gain powerful abilities. So there's a few different interconnected layers here that grant different benefits to you by accomplishing them, but they also create new opportunities for yourself and your opponents, so you'll have to think from both perspectives when deciding which moves are most strategic. And this game really gave me no choice. It also had to be my pick of the week. Everything here looks really well polished, from the intricacies of the design all the way to the beautiful artwork. And when a designer really cares about what they're putting out there, it's really not that hard to spot because you can see it in the attention to detail and the trail they leave behind in their design journey. This game has a really nice amount of ratings and comments over on BoardGame Geek from actual people who have played or play tested the game. But the designer really went the extra mile here because this game won the 2020 Ion Award in the strategy category, and it also won the 2020 Board Game Design Lab Design Challenge, and it was a finalist in the 2021 Cardboard Edison competition. Being outside of the board game design world, many of us might just overlook these details, but these are some pretty big design competitions with hundreds of games, so this is actually a really impressive accomplishment. I've personally entered each one of these competitions with my own designs, and a little flex here, but my design was also a Cardboard Edison finalist, so I'm not just a pretty face here on YouTube. Making it that far and winning is super impressive, but even more important than that is that it shows the dedication that this designer has, and it provides evidence of the game's quality because of the constant iterations, requirements that these contests put on you, and the feedback that you get from other designers and publishers, many of them being big names in the industry. In many ways, Kickstarter can really be a bad thing for consumers because anyone can just throw a game on there without being held to any standards that a publisher would normally hold on you. Designers that enter these contests and do all that extra work are holding themselves to a higher standard publicly, and for that I have a lot of respect. So definitely check out this campaign. I'll have the link in the description below if you want to click to get notified. You'll probably want to back it. There's also a tabletop sim if you want to try it out for yourself first. And if you want to know if I end up backing it, you can see all my pledges as well as other members in our Discord, which is also linked in the description below. Also on the 20th is Animal Adventures, The Faraway Sea, and this is the latest entry into the fantasy role-playing game of Animal Adventures, which provides all the miniatures, campaign setting, enemies, and 5e compatible rules for players to play as enlightened cats and dogs of various classes in an epic adventure. And this entry introduces 3 campaign adventures, rules for all the new animal species that you have to check out the campaign to discover, 11 islands filled with their own strange secrets and adventures, new rules for exploring and tracking your rivals, and new monsters and NPCs to help or hinder your adventures. So if you're interested in a D&D experience with a fun little setting and twist, definitely check this one out. And next we have Druids Secrets of the Primal Circle, which provides 5e player options and GM resources for the Druid class. This includes things like subclasses, spells, and magical items, but it also includes a history and lore that elevates the Druid's depth. The book dives into subjects like why Druids don't wear metal armor, what the Curse of Blood and Iron is, uses for Druidic marks, and who the Elder Spirits are, and a lot more. It also introduces the Grade Lands of the Netherrealm, which is an entire world of adventure whose history is tightly interwoven with the Druids, and it's filled with different monsters and villains with the goal to destroy the natural world. The whole concept of this book is to bring more meaning and purpose to the Druid. If the Druid is a favorite of yours, or if you just want a more complete history, definitely check this one out. And then on the 23rd is Circus Break, and this plays 2 to 5 players and takes about 10 to 15 minutes to play. And Circus Break is a strategic card flipping game where players are competing for the key to escape the circus. Each player receives a unique character at the start of the game, which remains hidden but is revealed whenever you decide to use your character's special abilities. Players will be essentially racing to identify different cards, but also using those cards to discover more cards, gain benefits, or harm other players in order to search out the key and be the first to escape the circus. The game offers different character abilities, a bunch of different action cards, and random game-changing events. And that's it for this week, but don't leave yet because we have a few awesome giveaways to announce, and this episode is going to be a little bit special because we just hit 1,000 members over on the Discord. So I'm going to be doing these giveaways a little bit differently because each one of them is going to be offered on the Discord. And the first giveaway we have is for Bantam West, and this is a competitive board game set in the Wild West where players are one of 4 different classes. They can either be the arsonist, the merchant, the gunslinger, or the thief, and they're going to be trying to complete different objectives, build different camps,
burn down opponents' camps
in order to win the game. Each character class has their own strengths and can win the game in their own way. This game has open world elements, which gives players a lot of freedom when they're trying to fulfill their objective to win the game. And this giveaway is going to be for the Home on the Range pledge, which comes with the core game and all associated stretch goals. And it's super easy to enter this giveaway. Just head over to the Discord and click on the giveaways channel, and there will be a little emoji under the post. And all you have to do is click that emoji, and it will get automatically drawn at the end of 7 days. So just make sure to check your notifications to see if you are the winner. And the next giveaway is for I'm Right, You're Wrong, and this is a party game all about having an argument. And the goal of the game is to be the last player with cards still in their hand. So players will perform different actions by playing different cards. There's attack cards that will eliminate cards from other players and have other negative effects. And then there's the high road cards, which have benefits to yourself. And then there's trap cards that you can set to be triggered by other players, or that get put into effect and need to be diffused before they are removed. And this giveaway is going to be for the Classic Edition pledge. And this comes with the core copy of the game and all applicable stretch goals. And same way to enter this giveaway, just head over to the Discord and click that little emoji under the post. And the next giveaway is for Rat Queens to the Slaughter, and this is a cooperative game where players are members of the Rat Queens. And players will be working together to fight back against hordes and hordes of monsters, and while doing so they're going to be gaining new skills and upgrading their individual character trees, as well as creating new ways for the players to work together and synergize their abilities. This continues for the first half of the game, where you're going to want to be defeating as many monsters as possible to upgrade your character as much as you can. And then during the second half of the game, players are going to be fighting against the final boss. And there's a whole bunch of different bosses that you can fight against, and the monsters that got away in the first half are going to dictate which boss ends up coming out. If players can successfully defeat the boss and defend their home, they win the game. And this giveaway is going to be for the Novus Adventure pledge, which comes with the core game. But if you win this giveaway and you're interested in upgrading your pledge, you can use this as a credit towards one of the other pledges. And once again, check out the Discord, click that little emoji to get entered in the giveaway. And the next giveaway we have is for Ice Floes and Foes, and this is a really neat competitive board game where players are going to be putting little ice sheets on a raised board. Players will be pushing those ice sheets from one side, which will push through all the ice sheets on the board and push other ice sheets off the other side. Players are going to be doing this to try and push off the hunters and fishing boats, but without pushing off the penguins and whales. I think this would be a fun little game for all age groups, but especially works well for younger children since the rule set is quite simple, and it also has some really fun little components and the excitement of pushing different ice sheets off the board. And this giveaway is going to be for the Deluxe Pledge, which comes with the Deluxe Edition of the game, as well as the Deluxe Stretch Goals. And once again, check out the Discord. Click that little emoji to enter in the giveaway. And the last giveaway we have is for Prise De Fer, which is an 18-card sword fighting game for 2 players, where players will be taking on different defensive and offensive stances and try to play their cards to get into that offensive stance and push their player back and land that hit. When a player is hit, all cards get reset and the new round begins. Each time the cards are dealt, players are only getting 7 cards dealt to them out of the possible 18, so there's always going to be a few cards left out of the game to create a different combination of attacks and defense for each round that you play. And this giveaway is going to be for the Duelist Pledge, which comes with 1 copy of the game and the print and play files. And now let's go ahead and draw the winners for last week's giveaways, and the first one we're going to draw for is Distilled. And to draw a winner, I use this fancy application here, and all these extra names down here are bonus entries for my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content, you want to help out the channel, definitely check that out. It makes all this work just a little bit more sustainable for me, which I truly appreciate, and it also gets you some really nice bonus entries into these giveaways. So let's go ahead and draw those comments and draw a winner. And the winner is Sebastian. And I'd ask viewers to let us know of a time that they overindulged. And Sebastian says, not waking up in your bed is a common thing with these stories, but I've never had that until last year, where I enjoyed a great bottle with a friend, cycled home, and woke up on the kitchen floor. The next day, clothes neatly folded on the kitchen table, of which I had no recollection. Well, you're a lot tidier than I am when blackout drunk. Congratulations, Sebastian. Just email me at adam@shelfclutter.com and we'll get that pledge all sorted out. And the next giveaway was for Soul Raiders, so let's go ahead and grab those comments and draw the winner. And the winner is Mindy Frank, and this is actually one of our newer patrons, so congratulations on the beginner's luck here. I'll reach out to you and let you know you won yourself an awesome pledge for Soul Raiders. And that's it for this week. Good luck in the contest, and until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.